Alright guys, welcome back to Project GoodSpeed. I'm Jay, and on today's video, the CRV here is going to get the old OEM radio slash center console bezel, I think that's what it's called, that area replaced with an Amazon double din display. And it's got touchscreen, it's got a backup camera, it's got a whole bunch of other features also, so hopefully they all work. Let's go ahead and check it out. Now here is the OEM bezel here. We've got obviously a cassette player. This model actually didn't even have a CD player. I know some at the junkyard do. Ultimately, the double din setup will help us, navigate GPS, and the display will be a whole lot easier. I don't have to worry about checking my phone. I can do all of that through the infotainment system here. Now, in all honesty, I actually already unboxed it. I couldn't help myself. I had to, unbox it last night and take a look at this awesome display. We got a lot of clips here. What is this for the rear camera? I won't be installing that. We've got, what is this? This is a GPS antenna here, along with some audio-visual cables. This is for Bluetooth audio, and this is for the radio harness adapter. And we got hardware. I just couldn't resist. I had to open it. Man, these are gonna look so cool in the CRV. Finally, some new tech for I can't really call that little CRV. Look at that. That's the little hatchback. That's the little big CRV. I'll put the link to all of this stuff in the description down below, but it's on Amazon. Less than $100, I think, for this whole thing. I think if you wanted a few more gigabytes of memory, you can go for like the one that costs $130. But honestly, I'm not going to be using it for that. My phone has all the memory I need, and this is just going to be for pretty much GPS. Easier display for my music, and CarPlay I think is for both Android Auto and Apple. And it also comes with a bunch of other stuff here. Radio harness. This is for the backup camera. I won't be installing that today, maybe in another video, because it's going to require a whole lot of fishing wires through the car, and I don't want to do that today. And I think this is for the GPS. I don't know exactly how this works quite yet. I'll probably just end up using the one on my phone, but we'll see how it works. I took a few shots of this already, and it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm hesitant to look at this and see anything other than just a tablet on a display, because honestly, it just looks like a tablet. We're gonna go ahead and just install this, and hopefully it works, honestly. It's really thin, It's one of the things I noticed. Really tiny, which is why it gives you that tablet feature. Honestly, I just wanted the display to figure out how to, I can install an aftermarket display on my own. But from Amazon, you can get the whole thing for less than $100, which is, I think, a pretty good deal. Unfortunately, I think one of the toughest part to do is we're gonna remove this whole thing here. And I think we have to start with removing this bottom piece as well as the glove box. I think there's a few screws in here that releases this middle piece. And I think this is a little different for manual ones. I think you also have to remove like the center console where the shifter is as well. But it's just gonna be a couple of screws. In my opinion, a few too many, but let's go ahead and get started. Oh, we lost one screw. Put in the comment section how many we'll lose by the end of this install. Fuck. Gotta disconnect. Glove box. Got it. Glove box just needs to be dropped down, and we're gonna go ahead and remove these screws here. Now, I don't think you need to remove the entire thing. I think it's just that bottom piece here, because there's no screw other than the one that's connected here. Yeah, you don't need to remove this. Kind of tough to remove, but this whole piece comes off. But how? Oh, something's happening. Okay. Down, I guess. Pulled down. Haha. Okay, now for this next part, I'm not entirely sure, but I removed 4 bolts. Well, 2 bolts on the sides, 2 screws on the bottom. Now, I think it's kind of loose. I'm just gonna push it from inside with a pry bar. And with the key here is to pull with everything you got and just yank on all these 30-year-old plastics to make absolutely sure you assert dominance. Something is not right. Oh, there we go. Broke something. Definitely broke something. Oh, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. It's just these little clips. They are very troublesome. But I think I removed everything. Come on. It just fell back into place. I'll just disconnect everything so we can get this install done. 20 minutes, look at that. So that's the radio harness, that's the antenna, and these are the climate controls. Just like that, it's out. Okay, now that I've got the double DIN, well, the center console removed for the new radio, we're gonna go ahead and just swap over the parts, and that's all the clips, everything from the ones on the top to the ones on the side that are much bigger. And then I'm gonna go ahead and install the climate control unit, which is just 4 screws, so it's not a big complicated process really. The only other thing I need to do is make sure I don't break it when I reinstall it. I screwed it all back together. I wanted to make sure everything worked, and it seems there's a little bit of a tight fit with the AC switches here. See, this one works just fine. This one does too, but this one doesn't come back up. This works. It's really tough. I think there's maybe some fitment issues with the sides of it, preventing it from coming back up. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off and just sand it a little bit and see if that helps. Button works just fine. It's just when it's in there and it's all tightened together, there's some kind of fitment issue. So this is why it's important we check things before we install. Okay, so no, it's more of an issue with the alignment. I guess the way the screws are like molded onto the frame, it pushes the frame to the edge where it needs to be in the middle. And I can see the AC button just shifting over to the right, making it hard to click, but if it goes to the left, it's fine. Okay, so I need to find some way to screw it as far left as I can. Gotcha. Got it. Next thing is, so the kit comes with 2 adapters. We have this gray one, which I'm not entirely sure what it's for, but it's not really needed. The blue one is the one for my CRV, and this tiny little piece here is where we have our power connector. So we're just gonna go ahead and install that here. Click, and this is the antenna, which we won't be needing because we can go ahead and just use our OEM one over there, and that means all we have to do is plug in our harness right here. You see these white ports up here? This is where we're gonna go ahead and just install all of our accessories, and the first one is this large one here, which responds to the RCA cables. And then the next one, I don't know where that is. It's saying it's an 8-pin canvas plug, but I don't have a plug that's that size, because the next 2, pretty much identical. We have USB ports, 6 and 4, right? 4 and 6, and that's how the order they go. And then the next one is for the camera, which is right here. Boom, that's gonna go there. And then we have our GPS antenna, which goes right here. Our car antenna goes there, and this is the Bluetooth audio, not Bluetooth, the microphone that connects to the RCA input. So we're gonna go ahead and just install all of this so it's ready to go into the car. I won't be installing the rear camera, like I said. That's gonna be for a later video. All right, and just like that, everything has been clipped in. And that means we only have 2 last things to do. Is I need to wire these, I need to feed these somewhere in the car, right? This is GPS, and this is the microphone. I don't know if the GPS will work, but I don't even know how it works, so we're gonna go ahead and just install it and see what happens. I have plugged everything back in, pretty self-explanatory. The only thing I had an issue with is I'm trying to, hook up my video game system to the display, so finding the right yellow, red, and white cable is a little challenging when there's a bunch of different ones and they all say words that make it seem like that's where you should plug it in. So let's go ahead and give it a shot, see if it works. Don't blow up, don't blow up. All right, plugs in, and there it is. Look at that. Touchscreen. I don't know where that went. Not very responsive. Oh, it's my antenna. It works. That's actually pretty quick. Okay, this is what I was talking about. When you're like driving and like having a hard time pushing the button, like if you're trying to like do this and then it's just hitting potholes and things like that, it's hard to keep it ready like that, which is why I prefer the OEM knob, because you can turn it. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back together. It was not that complicated to get it installed. Unfortunately, oh man, this is not a very user-friendly software to use. I gotta admit, I'm having a hard time figuring out what this does. Like this phone button here, I would assume is to call, you know, someone. But it also combines the Bluetooth feature, so it's annoying because here's the phone, and now it's saying please connect to Bluetooth first, even though it says it's connected, and now I can't even access it. So, man, what a freaking bummer. Let me go ahead and just put everything back together and see if I can figure it out a little bit more. Everything has been plugged in. We are definitely going to get rid of the old OEM radio display here, and we now have a fully functional touchscreen display for the 2001 Honda CRV. I've done the best that I can, and like I said, this software is not that intuitive. See, look, it keeps doing that. It keeps bringing me back to this CarPlay page. My phone says it's connected. I can even play music. That's definitely the radio. Pretty loud, but for some reason it's just stuck on this page. Like it's the CarPlay's trying to connect, but it's already connected, you know, so I don't know why it's doing that. That screen will just keep popping up, you know, loading and loading and loading, so. But at your own risk, I suppose. I got it for a reason. Oh no, I think it froze. It was working just fine on the little hatchback, and I think the game is finally broken. Well, it happens. Look, you can see this town name, but I can't play it. You guys get the idea. This thing is now compatible with RCA cables, so I can hook up my PS2, Xbox 360, you know, my 64. So, you know, I have those options to play whenever I do decide to find some way to power those. I still haven't figured that out. I don't know how to do it. Right now they're just plugged into the wall, but the point is that they work on screen. Now we have some modern tech to go ahead and utilize. I still have to find some way to lighten up the interior here on the CRV. I did manage to switch out one of the lights down here at the bottom. Before it was a dull incandescent bulb, and now it has LED. See that? Super bright, you know, for coins and things like that, whatever I want to put in there. It's super bright, and I've got a double-din touchscreen display. There you have it, guys. All plugged in, and like I said, I'll put the link in the description down below. I do want to give a big caveat just because it is having that issue, right? I don't see how I could fix that. It is on the newest update, so it's not like I can just auto-update and just fix this bug, but it's annoying having to sit here and wait for the CarPlay to actually connect. The last 2 times I tried it, it did work right away, but that's even worse because now I don't know when this problem will or will not happen. A few shots over here, though, it does look pretty good, not gonna lie. This is an Amazon product, and like I said, it'll be linked in the description down below. Check it out. Compare it, honestly. If it were a much friendlier software, I would definitely recommend it. But it seems to be a little bit more Samsung friendly than Apple friendly, I suppose. It's got a couple buttons that I really don't want to even mess with. You can link a Google account to it. I don't want to give it that information, but the radio works fine. The audio visual works fine, and it also mirror links. I have tried it, you know, so it does link my phone to the screen. I have to share my hotspot, however, in order to get it to happen. But it does work. Hell yeah. Although it is mirroring my phone, but still, hell yeah. The other thing I haven't done is I don't have the rear camera set up. But like I said, I have to do that separately, and I'll show you guys why. CRV here doesn't really have a center point to mount a rear view camera. It does have it right above the license plate here, but I don't really want to do that just yet. I have a few ideas on how to mount a not very visible rear view camera. More on that later though. And then I do actually have the USBs connected onto the unit. They're just hidden behind my glove compartment here. You guys can't see it because the wires are so short. They end up right back there. I'm gonna find some way to reroute them, maybe find some way to make a slot for it in the center console area somewhere, so I don't have to open up the glove box to connect anything. That's gonna be for today's video. I've got nothing else planned. I'm gonna enjoy the double DIN setup for a minute. I don't have to worry about pushing buttons, and it's all like electronics. So Hopefully it doesn't break. I'll put any updates in the description also down below. Let you guys know if there is any issues, 6 months from now or a year from now or however long I had this set up. That way you guys and I don't have to make another video to, update that. So, until next time, guys, take care and good speed.